Hey there, folks, and welcome back to the I Am CDB project. Of course, I'm your host, CDB. You are not. And today we're going to show you a very special soap developed by West Coast Shaving in conjunction with some artisans. This one is the Cologne scent, and right there on the label, it says it's a dark mossy floral scent, and that's exactly and precisely what it smells like. It smells exactly like a dark mossy floral scent. Scent strength on this is very good. I'd call it about 8 to 8.5. And this is actually, it's kind of hard to see there. This is actually a cream. It's a jojoba shave cream. Now this particular one is made by Katie's Bubbles. West Coast Shaving does not hide that. One of the things I like about this is the thought that they've put in to the label itself. You can see, got that little green ring around there, which also carries on to the side label. Now, one of the things about the side label I really like is a lot of people like me stack their soaps, and you can easily find this on a shelf. You just face it forward and you can grab it. When you have the soaps without side labels, you have to pick them up and look at the tops. And obviously a lot of thought went into this packaging, and even that green that you see there, it's basically representative of the dark mossy floral scent, which it is. One of the things also I would note about this is this was super easy to lather. I just scooped it a little bit out with my cosmetic spatula, and I swirled a little bit, and I mean, the lather on this was tremendous. Of course, you would expect that with the Katie's Bubbles product because their stuff is known to be quite easy to lather. The fragrance when I was lathering it was just wafting all over the place. So it's very, very nice if you like a dark mossy type scent. Now they'll also have other soaps in this line, which you'll see at least one more on this channel. The creams are jojoba shaving creams, but their soaps will be, let's see, I'm reading off the paper they sent here, duck fat, which Vita from Oleo makes. So it'll be interesting to see how that one performs. I reckon it will be good. Sorry, I just knocked something off into the floor. Anyway, let's stop with the yapping and tell you about what we're going to use today in addition to the soap. We're going to be using the Timeless OC. This is the 0.95 OC, and it's riding today on the Jurgen Hempel titanium handle. I wanted to lighten up the handle a little bit and just see how I felt about it. Let me just wet the face here, and we will get going and try this cream from West Coast Shaving out. I had a nice conversation with Abraham from West Coast Shaving, who's an avid wet shaver, has been for a number of years, and he's now working with West Coast Shaving, and we really had a good conversation, and he explained how these soaps came about, and they based it on, if you're familiar with the color wheel, they've sort of created their own scent wheel. And so this series of soaps is based on that. And you can, if you're not familiar with the color wheel, you can look that up and then go and read the documentation on the West Coast Shaving about their soaps and maybe get more information. This feels great on the face, and the fragrance it's not overwhelmingly stout, but it is robust, which I like a lot. Anyway, Abraham, nice fellow, and I talked about the soaps and West Coast Shaving, and he was telling me about a lot of things they're doing now at West Coast Shaving. And believe me when I say, folks, if you haven't been to West Coast Shaving in the last 2 years or so, this is not the same old West Coast Shaving. It is vastly different. The gentleman who runs it, Aviv, I've talked to a couple of times on the phone over the years, a very nice gentleman, and they have made a lot of changes, and I'll talk about one of them in just a second. Boy, that feels nice. Razor just gliding across that effortlessly. And as you can see there's no lather there. And it just glides along because of that wonderful residual slickness. That's one of the things that I really value in a great soap, is that residual slickness. And of course, when you have a efficient razor like this Timeless 0.95, you need a good quality soap. And boy, that's a very good performing soap. Very nice indeed. I don't think I've ever used a cream from Katie's Bubbles. It is very, very soft. The texture is a little bit different than, say, your standard Taubes or Trumpers, but it is indeed a cream and very soft. And boy, so far, very good. This is excellent work by West Coast and Chris Cullen of Katie's Bubbles. Very, very nice indeed. Anyway, Abraham was giving me some examples of things they're trying to do there. And one of the things that I really thought stood out was he was talking about filters that they have put up on their website. For example, if you're looking for a brush that's very, very soft, a synthetic brush, then you can put filters in for a soft brush. If you want scritchy, you can put scritchy or even a combination thereof, I think. Again, I haven't looked at it myself. But anyway, they've organized these filters in such a way that you can find exactly the type of brush you want. You put those filters in, it'll bring up brushes with medium backbone, a lot of backbone, or very, very soft, plush tips, all the rest. That's excellent. In addition to that, he was telling me they did a similar thing with razor blades, which, you know, of course, we all know that our choices and our selections in razor blades are very subjective. However, I find there's some basic agreement. Like we know feather is sharp. We know Gillette Silver Blue, for example, most people find to be smooth. Now there are some blades that don't work well for people. But there's sort of that general consensus on certain blades. For example, a lot of people think Derby are not the sharpest. I think they work okay, but they're certainly not the sharpest. And in my opinion, they're good for 1 or 2 shaves max. But anyway, he's also got those filters on razor blades where you want the most sharp, do you want smooth, you know, and so forth. And he, you know, worked to test those blades. And I think that's an excellent service to customers, particularly those who are new, who haven't had a chance to try, you know, 50 different blade types, so they can sort of see, okay, maybe I don't want to start out with the sharpest blade. You don't want to start out with something smooth. I prefer smooth all the time, so I would always want smooth blades. So if you're newer and just coming to wet shaving and you know, you didn't have the benefit of trying a ton of blades, that would be very helpful. And the same thing with the brushes. And so I think West Coast is really doing a lot of great things, really trying to add some additional value, not only to their product, but to the website. And I think that's outstanding. And boy, let me tell you, performance on this soap is quite good. I mean, that is just gliding along rather effortlessly, and let's see how we do without. Still glides along with that great residual slickness. So quality, I'm sold on it. You know, the scent is always going to be subjective for people, because this won't be a scent that everybody loves unless you enjoy a dark, you know, floral, mossy floral type scent. But I can tell you one thing, it is described precisely as it is, and I really appreciate that. I love a product that is described the way it is, you know, and I've mentioned this before, and I don't mean to be insulting to any vendor. It is not my intent whatsoever to throw barbs at anybody. Personally, I'm not into the stories and the long-winded explanations of scents and fragrances and so forth. For example, I'm not into, you know, labels with a guy in a spacesuit or whatever. I just want simple, clean, just my preference. This is it. I know exactly what this is. I don't have to guess at it. It says exactly what it is. That saves me time. My time is valuable to me. I don't want to worry about, you know, in what planet we're on. I don't want to worry about reading through these long-winded descriptions. You know, it's like walking in Egypt on the Nile River. I've never been to Egypt or on the Nile River. I have no connection with that, so I don't know what that smells like. So when artisans tell me things like that, I would assume that there are probably a few of us in this community who have had the benefit of, you know, being in some of these places. So when you write a description, it's got some long-winded thing about some place, particularly outside the United States, where most of us have likely never been, there's no connection. You know, you can't, okay, I don't know what it's like to be in Paris or whatever. Now, clearly some of you have, but I would hazard to guess that most of us have not. And so when we have labels that have all this gibberish, it really does nothing. I mean, for me. Now, that said, the artisans have every right to do it, and do it the way they see fit, and do it in a way that represents their brand. I know before, when I mentioned, I did a video on this years ago, Douglas Smythe at PAA, and folks got angry because they thought I was taking a shot at him. I was not taking a shot at him. He has every right to do it. I think it fits his style perfectly, and if you like that kind of thing, then go for it. I just don't like it. It doesn't do anything for me. I like simple, clean, straightforward, saves me time. I grab it, I know what it is, I go. I don't have to put it in some sort of decryption software to figure out what it is. I don't have to get out my chemistry set or figure out all these crazy things about what it's supposed to do or be, or, you know. I just grab it and go, and it's good stuff. And so this is what West Coast Shaving is offering. Straightforward, it's not cute. And boy, let me tell you, it lathers tremendously, and it works well. And Abraham had even mentioned, you know, we're not fans of lengthy descriptions and all that. We wanted it to be simple, and let me tell you, that is right up my alley. Simple, clean, that works for me every single time over a lot of, you know, busy graphics and stuff, although there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing that if you're an artist. And let me just make that clear, because I don't want folks getting the wrong idea. I'm not being critical of the folks who do. I'm just saying it doesn't work for me. It's a waste of my time. However, there are folks that do enjoy that, and so I recognize that. And I say, if you're an artisan that likes the long-winded descriptions and the crazy stuff, then please continue to do so, because I'm sure there are some people who like it. I'm speaking only for me. But when I do speak for me, I calls it like I sees it. And I really appreciate this kind of thing, because you know, I know what it is. When I'm up in the morning after I've worked out and so forth, I just want to get my shave on. I want to, you know, get ready from work. I'm not looking to think a great deal about where the soap came from, or the, you know, trying to figure out what it smells like via some crazy description. But again, that's just me, and always keep in mind that I'm speaking as a, you know, as a user first and foremost, or a consumer, and I'm telling you what I like. And we may not intersect on that, but I do believe I have a lot of folks who view these videos, and we certainly do intersect in those opinions, or have some common ground. Let me tell you something. This is good stuff. Quality-wise, big thumbs up. Scent is very good if you like this sort of scent. I would encourage you to certainly, at a minimum, try one of these, because the cream itself, the quality of the cream is worth it, in my opinion. Now, I have not watched, I think Mr. Rudd's and other people, a few others have tried it. I have not watched their material on this, because again, I like to use something and give my, you know, organic thoughts, as it were, because I don't want to have preconceived notions. But I think this is a very good product. One of the things I also mentioned about Abraham, again, nice fellow, he didn't go into a lot of information about a product. He was just telling me how they came about creating these and what they're attempting to do. He didn't try to fill my head with a bunch of information on, I think you're going to find it's this or that or the other, or it's very slick or that. He was like, no, you figure that out. We sent these to a few folks, and we want them to try it and give us our genuine thoughts. And if you don't like it for some reason, you are absolutely free to say it on video. So he didn't ask for private feedback, and he didn't say, you know, if you don't like this, please don't say it. He was like, no, we want honest feedback. We can handle it, and we prefer it, and that's why we send it to folks who we trust to give it. And fortunately, this is very good stuff. I think you're going to love it if you find a scent that you really enjoy. Again, it's a cream. It's very soft. It may not look it, but it is. Now, it's not going to fall out of your tub. but it's very good stuff. Let me go ahead and rinse the face. We'll come back and do the post. Stay tuned. All right, and here we are back with the magic made by witches, and rest assured, we have another bottle on deck because this one's just about finished, and we'll throw that on. Very, very good stuff. And then we'll prepare to use our aftershave here in a moment. But before we do, let's just do a quick rundown of the stuff we used today. Of course, we used our Timeless OC with a Jurgen Hempel titanium handle. Very, very good razor. Very smooth. The blade is Astra. We used West Coast Shaving. Then this is Cologne, and it says it right there. Again, dark mossy floral scents. Got the side label. Stands out. This is a very good product. This is one of the best products that I've used from Chris Cullen in quite some time. Now, to be fair, I haven't bought a lot of stuff from him. All his stuff is good, don't get me wrong, but this one, I love this cream. The performance of it was very, very good. So I think West Coast Shaving and Chris Cullen have developed something very, very nice here. Find a scent that you enjoy. It is very much worthy of being tried, and see if you like it. I think you will. Just find a scent that you enjoy. This particular scent is not my cup of tea because I tend not to like darker or mossy type scents. Well, I do like moss a little bit. Floral is not my thing, but it's very, very good in what it is. People who like this sort of scent will probably love it. That's just my opinion. And of course, we used our Envy Shave 8-ball, which I don't think I mentioned. This is a fantastic brush, and we will finish it off today with a little Stirling for men. I think Stirling has wonderful aftershaves that are very affordable and they last a good while. There's a lot of artisans now who are doing, you know, EDTs and stuff, which is great. I think Stirling might even too. I haven't tried them yet. But a lot of the times if I have an aftershave that's long lasting, I'll just use it. I don't like to double up really. And so I certainly don't like spending double money. But anyway, this has been a very, very nice shave. I want to thank the folks at West Coast Shaving for allowing me to try this guy. I recommend that you check it out. Find a scent you like, check it out. I think you'll be pleased with it. I certainly am. I want to thank everybody once again for watching. Until next time, I've been your host, CDB. If you're not, God bless.